Hey friends, time for blending. Today's February 19th. It is Unit 3, Week 5, and all week long we've been working on that book sound, which makes that sound that you hear in the middle of the word book and the word push. So it can be spelled with either O-O or U, like in the word push or the word full. All right. So of course, always make sure you're focused and paying attention to really help yourself. Let's do our high frequency words. If you know them, make sure you say them. And if you do not, then make sure you practice and repeat after me. After, every, ago, how, happy, once, water, green, way, some, today, now, grow, together, from, any, old, people, by, soon, work, done, boy, girl, so, upon, should, pretty, away, why. Excellent, thank you so much. All right, so let's get started with our blending. All right, first word, look. Your turn. O, k, look. So that middle sound that you hear in look is and book and look rhyme because they have that same ending sound. L says ol, o, K says k, ol, k, look. So I know I've said before how we can't always sound out high frequency words. Look is actually a high frequency word from kinder. And now that we have learned in first grade the sound spelled with o, now we can sound it out. So if you know but you don't know right off the bat that look is look, now you can sound it out a bit. Next word, wood. Your turn. Wa, da, wood. W says wa, o, D says da, wa, wood. Next word, crook. Your turn. Cur, k, crook. There's one of those blends at the beginning of a word. So, of course, when you sound out a blend, you can take it letter by letter, like an R blend or an L blend or an S blend. Ka-er, and then O, and K says ka. So if you sound out this word, you can go each, in the blend in the beginning, you could go letter by letter. You can do that, and if you can put it all together in your head, you will get the word ka-er-ka, ka-er-ka, ka-er-ka. That word is crook. But like I've said before, sometimes if you are focused too much on saying each sound, by the time you get to the ka, sometimes you forget what came at the beginning. So even though you're saying each sound correctly, when you're trying to put it together, you forget the C or you forget the R. Next word, foot. Your turn. T, foot, foot. And this is 1 foot. If you wanted to talk about 2, you would not say foots, you would say feet. O, T says ta, foot. Now, I'm fairly certain most people, this is not one that a lot of people really have to sound out. You might just know that F-O-O-T is the word foot, either because if you're reading it in a book, you see it on the page, or, you can sound it out. All right, next word. Pole, your turn. Pa, o, pole. So this word pole is a high frequency word from kinder. He says pa, and this word is where we can spell that sound with a U. Pa, two L's, o, pa, o, pole, pole. And next word, push, your turn. Pa, sh, push, push. He says pa, u, pa, and sh, one of those digraphs from a few weeks ago. Sh says shh. Now, with blends like CR, or any of the other R blends, or any of the other S blends, or L blends, you can sound them out letter by letter. Digraphs is what they're called, like SH, or CH, or TCH. You cannot sound those out letter by letter, because it doesn't make the same sound. So SH, if you go letter by letter, saha, 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 pa, saha. That doesn't quite sound like a word I know. So you kind of just have to know that SH says shh, pa, sh, push. All right, so next word, clap, your turn. Coal, clap. Ka, ol, and of course, like I said, you can sound them out, each letter, or if you can just get in the habit of knowing that CL, coal. A says a. See, in the word clap, we only hear short A, so it's just regular A. There's no blank E. Coal, a. He says pa, coal, app, clap. So I'm going to turn this word clap into clapping, clapping. So when I say clapping, coal, a, ing, clapping, clapping. So CL, ka, ol, coal. I still hear the word clap in the word clapping. A says a. He says pa, coal, app, clap. But if I'm going to make the word clapping, since this is a consonant, so we know that a consonant is any letter besides a vowel. Our vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and every other letter is called a consonant. So when a word ends in a consonant and a short vowel, we will double up on that. We will just add the same thing. In this case, it is a P, coal, app, and those two P's, kind of like these two L's, we just double up on that sound. In pole, pa, ol, pole, we double up on those two L's. It doesn't have to be o, pa, o. It still makes the pole sound. So, coal, app, clap. So those two P's just double up on the sound. So if I'm going to make clapping, I'm going to add I-N-G. Clapping, clapping. So the difference between this word clap and this word clapping is just when it happens. So clapping, I am clapping right now, okay? Clap is, she is going to clap her hands once the show is over, okay? So this means I'm doing it right now. It is called the present tense, and this is called the future tense. It's going to happen. Okay, so next word, shop, your turn. Sh, ah, p, shop, shop. This is another one that has a digraph, SH, like push. Kind of just have to know SH is sh. O says aw. P says pa. Sh, op, shop. This word shop, short O. There is no blank E. Then it would be shope. That's not a word. Shop, shop. So if I want to turn this word shop into shopping, like I'm going shopping tomorrow, or I'm shopping right now, I'm going to double up on that P, on that final consonant, and then add I-N-G. So it then becomes shopping. So our base word is the word shop. But in order to turn shop into shopping, we have to double up on the last consonant and add I-N-G. All right, next word, shopped. Your turn. Sh, aw, t, shopped. So notice how the base word is shop. It is still shop. When I say shopped, I hear SH. SH says shh. Kind of just have to know. O says ah, sh, ah. P says pa, sh, op, shop. So the word was shopped. And that means it already happened. She already shopped for her shoes. Shop. So just like in the word shopping, in order to make the word shopped, we have to double up on this final consonant. And then instead of adding ing to make it future tense, I'm going to add ed to show that it has already happened. When you see this word, you can still blend it. Shopped, shopped. And I bet that if you were to see this in a book, your brain would kind of put it together that it's the word shopped. Because you would try to sound it out. Shopped, shopped. Oh wait, that must be the word shopped. Okay. And last word. Chat. Cha, at, chat. So if you notice, when I say the word chat, your chin goes down. That's the cha sound. CH, cha, those two letters are just together. Because once again, with digraphs like SH and CH, you can't sound them out letter by letter. You can't go kaha and still hear that sound. You have to know that C and H, cha. You just have to. A says ah. T says ta, cha, at, chat. So I'm going to take this word chat and I'm going to turn it into chatting, meaning that it's happening right now, or yeah, I'm chatting with a friend. So in order to make that chatted, we have to double up on that final consonant, the T, cha, at, chat, and those two T's still make that T sound, just like it would with O, just like it would with pa, still makes that sound. Only difference, to make chatted, or no, chatting is what we said. Chatting, in order to make the ing, it's ing. And of course, I bet if you saw this in a book and you tried to sound out the word chat, at, chat, and then you saw that ing, your brain would just kind of tell you automatically, cha, at, sing, chatting. Pretty sure for most people. All right, so let's read our board. Look, wood, crook, foot. Your turn. Lovely. Pull, push, clap, clapping. Your turn. Lovely. Shopping, shopped, chatting. Your turn. Beautiful. All right, let's do a sentence. Okay, so high frequency word he. SH, digraph. You just have to know S and H say sh. Okay. And middle sound in book, sh, K says ka, sh, shook. He shook. Little word his. You could sound this out. Is his. You could sound it out. But it's a teeny tiny word. After 100 and some odd days of first grade, we should kind of know this when we see it. F says f. O says f, T says ta, f, foot. He shook his foot. So he shook his foot. And W says what? A blank E, what does that say? Makes the long A sound. A, I saw some lips going there. Thank you. Wa, A. V says v, wa, ave, wave. So let's think about this real quick. He shook his foot and wave. That doesn't sound right. Shook is the past tense of the word shake. Like, I shook my foot, okay? Or I'm going to shake my foot. Shake would be what we would say if we were going to do it. Shook would be what we said if we've already done it. And some of that stuff, like, you just know in your head automatically that when you say the word shook, it means that you have already done it. Just like he has already done that. So he shook his foot and wave. So we need to make the word wave past tense. And just like in the word shocked, we are going to add ed. Since we already have the e, we've talked before about how you're not going to double up on the e. That e is just already there. So all we have to do is add a d. Waved, waved. He shook his foot and waved. What did he wave? Maybe you can guess. His, is his. He shook his foot and waved his, Maybe we can guess now. A says ah. There's no blank e. So there's no e at the end of this word. Ah. So it's just short a. And D, nda, Now that's an ending blend with an N and a D. And again, like some of these blends, you can sound them out letter by letter. Hand. All right, so let's read our sentence. He shook his foot and waved his hand. Okay, so we know we need some punctuation. There are two different kinds of punctuation. You could use just a regular period to for at the end of this word, or you could use an exclamation point. So he shook his foot and waved his hand. If it's just a telling sentence, you're just telling what he did, it's a period. If you were to use an exclamation point, you would say this sentence, with a lot of oomph, like we always talk about. He shook his foot and he waved his hand. He was trying to get somebody's attention. All right. So it just depends on how you say the word or say the sentence if you're going to use an exclamation point or a period. So when you see a sentence in a book, your brain might automatically see if it's an exclamation point or a question mark or a period. When you would say a sentence with a period only, you wouldn't say it with a whole lot of oomph. You just kind of say that it's happening. Okay? If you see a sentence with an exclamation point, I've heard a lot of people reading who kind of automatically just raise their voice a little bit, and they're saying it with oomph. He shook his foot and waved his hand. If it is a question, which this sentence is not a question, so this is going to be fiction. If it's a question, and you see a question mark, your brain kind of tells you that you're going to raise your voice just a little bit. He shook his foot and waved his hand. See what happened to my voice when I said it as a question? Okay, so let's do some nouns and verbs. So, nouns, person, a place, or thing. We are all experts at that. So what are the nouns in our sentence? Foot, it's a part of his body. Okay, so it's a thing. Hand, another part of his body, a thing. He and his, those are both pronouns. So, of course, any male name I could put in here, but it has to be the same name because this is what he is doing. It's not what somebody else is doing. So, Mr. Porter shook Mr. Porter's foot and waved Mr. Porter's hand. So that is a true sentence. I mean, it's correct. It just doesn't sound as good as he shook his foot and waved his hand. You could replace the first word, the first he, the first pronoun with the name of the person. Mr. Porter shook his foot and waved his hand. You could do it that way, and it would still sound like an okay sentence. Excuse me. Verbs. What is he doing? He is shaking. Remember, a verb tells what the noun is doing. So what is he shaking? His foot. And then the other verb, waved. That is something that he is doing. Now, what is he waving? His hand. So shook is telling what he did with his foot, okay? And waved is telling what he did with his hand. All right, excellent. Thank you so much for working hard. We'll see you later.